Hey everybody, welcome back. So we're about to go back to Jeddah to talk with Cardova and Sarah
What do you
about
think we'll find?
what we found on Kodaba and on the moon.
All speed to Jeddah.
And yeah, let's hop to it.
Think Cordova can make some sense of that tech Cal found?
Are you kidding me? That guy is as sharp as they come. I can't wait to see Sarah again. I owe her big time. She fronted me the credits for Pyloons.
What do you owe her, Grease?
2,000 credits, give or take. Maybe I'll make Granny Pyloon's famous casserole and she'll forget all about it.
For 2,000 credits? That better be one hell of a casserole.
Arriving at our destination.
Not coming in, Grease?
I'll catch up. I'm gonna stay on the Manus, check diagnostics.
Well, if you need repairs, I'm sure the anchorites would be happy to help.
Ooh, no thanks. I don't want those weirdos rooting through my ship.
I agree, but how can we be sure it's safe?
We cannot.
The network's resources are strict.
A strange device. This one seems to be a duplicate. Both have been damaged by the lightsabers.
Wasn't me. This time.
Perish the thought.
You think you can fix it?
I don't know. But I will certainly try.
Master Junda, the Empire is nearing Pilgrim Sanctuary.
Is it a strike force?
No, an excavation team.
Good. They don't know about the safe house.
Yet.
Safe house?
Hidden in the ruins. Have we begun evacuations?
They're already underway, but Brother Armias isn't responding.
Armias has the communication codes.
If they capture him, they could put the entire hidden path at risk.
I know the ruins. I will go.
I'm coming with you. Vote.
You know what? I think I should stay here, make myself useful.
I could use a research assistant.
Bring back Armias.
You got it.
And no heroics!
With this one? No promises.
I think she was talking to you. Is the safe house far?
No, but we will need a spammel to get there. They gather near the base. Follow me.
What was this place?
An old anchorite monastery. Impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pilgrim Sanctuary is an ancient temple. Seer and Master Cordova chose it as the Hidden Path's safe house. We knew one day the Empire would come. Just not so soon.
Master Junda told us of your coming. It is an honor to meet one she holds in such high regard. May I escort you? I have never met a witch before, and I have so many questions.
We should not delay. The Empire is threatening Pilgrim Sanctuary. Pilgrim's Crossing is on the other side of the desert.
This way, Master Junda. We are nearly there. So, what do you think?
It's old, abandoned, and in the middle of nowhere. It's perfect.
Here's our ride. I need to clear my mind.
So, I had to look it up because I kind of forgot that they had used Jedi in Rogue One, and that this was the place that Saw Gerrera had their base in, and it was one of the first places that they tested the Death Star's like capabilities on. Like, everybody remembers that they used the Death Star to destroy like Leia's home planet, basically. But in the Rogue One, it kind of turns out that, and I think this is now supposed to be canon, but that was when they had used a single beam from the Death Star to destroy a city on Jeddah, which was one of the holy cities. So I think I mentioned before that where we are is we're on the other side of we're on the other side of the planet, or the moon. We're on the other side of the moon. The holy city, there are multiple holy cities on Jeddah. It's just that we are in one of the disused ones where there's not a lot of people that live here except for the Arcanites.
So, how'd you get involved with the hidden path?
I came across someone in need during my travels and helped them hide from the Empire. That eventually led me to the path.
Sometimes, I wonder if destroying the holocron had any impact.
We protected the children on that list. But there are others.
And the Empire's still hunting them down.
Just so. We must protect those we can.
Overseer's base.
Yes, they are ancient security mechanisms. A remnant of those who came before. When the Empire arrived, the Anchorites began to use these.
Old tech is less conspicuous.
Exactly.
Safe house is in there?
Yes. The temple is abandoned and well fortified.
Perfect place to hide from the Empire.
So we thought.
We'll find Brother Armias.
I hope so. We will take the back route. It is the fastest way.
That looks like trouble.
At least there's two of us. One for each of its claws. Careful, there's danger nearby. You're fine. Don't die on me. Strike now.
Nasty things.
Did you find the way to Tanalor?
Not yet. But we found some devices from the High Republic. Master Cordova's inspecting them now.
Seer and her master are quite the pair. They've been a vital asset to the path since they joined us.
Did you come across any other Jedi on your travels?
No, Cal. If I had, I would have contacted you.
Thank you.
Honestly, I feel like Disney is missing out on including some of the media that was up until the last trilogy of Star Wars that came out, 7, 8, and 9. Up until then, all that media and comics and things like that were considered canon. So we had like a bunch of books, a bunch of like side stories and things that weren't a part of the last trilogy. But the only thing that Disney basically kept was the Clone Wars show and basically anything that happened in that around that time. And then everything else was like, no, we're not acknowledging that. Which I'm a little sad about because there were some good gems, especially when we were talking about in regards to the last trilogy of films that came out.
We'll regroup near the temple.
Hey, Marin. Watch yourself out there.
I'll be doing the watching, Cal.
Just you and me again. This guy looks hungry.
So the gem that I'm talking about is the existence of the twins. So this is like a series of books. Really, like they were smaller chapter books, nothing like operatic or anything like that. That they were smaller chapter books, and they were detailing essentially the life of Luke, Leia, Han Solo, and all of the characters from 4, 5, and 6. So, just like Luke's counterpart in the last trilogy, Luke in the books does open up a Jedi school, which he starts using to train different Jedi and also to train himself. Because, of course, Luke didn't have like full training, so he, with the help of like Yoda and other masters that ended up coming out of hiding now that the Empire is like gone, opened up a school for himself and for Force sensitives, like the twins, which is Leia and Han Solo's kids. So Leia had a boy and a girl. Both of them were Force sensitive, except one of them was learning how to be a Jedi, while the other one is learning how to essentially use their Force sensitiveness to pilot ships and things like that, which I thought was pretty cool. But Disney didn't end up like using that because the stories were pretty good, I thought. It was good for like kind of continuing the story in a way that made sense where instead of just like a super happily ever after type deal, Leia and Luke were helping people who were still being persecuted by the pockets of empire, which is kind of what Leia talked about in one of the movies. She said that, we essentially started to rebuild and everything, but what ended up happening was that there were still pockets of the empire left over, and they morphed into something else, and we had grown complacent type of deal.
Let's try that again, BD. Knew we'd make it. Eventually. Map of the region. There's Pilgrim Sanctuary across the bridge. Wonder what those markers mean. Welcome, traveler. Though your journey started long ago. Huh. Brace yourself, BD! This remind you of Zeppo too? Can't make that. Too windy.
So, I don't have any trouble with platforming games. I like platforming games. I like figuring them out because platforming usually means puzzles are at least in some aspect of it. And so, I have no problem with this. This one is fairly easy. All you do is you just pull out the block to block the wind so you can jump across. But what changes is that this area is a starter area. It just kind of tells you what you need to do. But then when you get to the next area is when it's a pain in the neck.
Off we go.
What's the ETA on that shuttle? What? I said, what's the ETA on that shuttle? Speak up, I can't hear you. Incoming! Firing on the enemy.
Jarring strike confirmed. Container compromised.
That's not possible.
They were waiting on a shuttle. Means more on the way. Gotta do something about that.
So earlier I said that there was a jump cut, which we just passed through. I had paused the game so that I could look up how to do this because the weather vane that we see at the top, it has a pole on it that we can use to swing across to do, a wall run. But when I had pulled out the block, because I had pulled it out, as you can see right there, I had pulled it out on one of the other attempts that I did probably about between 35 and 45 different like attempts on this like platforming section alone. And the reason why it wasn't going for me was because it had glitched out. What's supposed to happen is that I pull the block out to block this top wind, then you grapple across, and then jump and get onto the climbable wall. And then by the time you got up there, the weather vane would have stopped moving, and then you'd be able to swing across to the do a wall run. But that was not the case. What ends up happening is after I pulled this block out, the weather vane just keeps moving, like it was glitched. And I was like, I don't know what sequence of events do you want me to do besides go back and retrace my steps and do this all over again, which is what I ended up having to do. And I just kept dying because of it, because, you know, I'm trying to come back, and then I would come back and I'd come back around and I'd come up and it's still moving. Like right now it's moving slowly, and I have no idea why it was doing that until like I got up there on this attempt, and then it stopped moving and I could get across.
Calm down. That's just the wind. I don't know which is worse, these winds or the... I swear, if I hear Desert Ghost one more time...
Hear that, buddy? Yeah, definitely Marin's work.
Get back here! I got this.
Throw me a stim BB. Another. Stormtroopers weren't ready for these conditions. And it doesn't hurt to have a desert ghost on our side. Maybe the wind's turning in our favor for once. Onwards, traveler. Cross over. Cross over to what? Force is with me.
Go check on the new unit. It's not responding to comms. Are you? I'll take him down. That's right.
Fight with me. Rest, reflection, direction. Onwards, traveler. Encouraging. I can't open it. Stand, BB. Empire brought a new toy.
Shooting the cop here. I'm done with this one. Slip up. You'll have to pay.
Enemy is defending.
I have a rant that is in conjunction with Ray and Adam Driver's character, Ben Solo. I am blinking out on his, Sith name. I'm blanked out of my mind. I think it starts with a K, but I do not have any, I do not know. But, yeah, that relationship. If you've watched the films, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I'll call it for what it was. It was weird because there was this strange kind of energy that was coming off of it. And at first everybody thought it was just kind of like a par for the course, like Sith thing, where Sith would try to coerce Jedi to come over to the dark side and stuff like that. That's where the whole, come to the dark side, we have cookies type of deal thing that cropped up in like the early 2000s. But
Easy to get knocked off course around here.
no,
Let's be careful.
no, that wasn't the case. It was just so weird because it was seriously just like super weird, like obsession, essentially. Like Adam Driver's character, I'm just gonna continue to call him Ben Solo, was like a huge walking, talking red flag. And he was quite literally obsessed with Rey for no other reason than the fact that she was a Jedi user. And it was like, is it because there's not a lot of other Jedi around? Is that the case? Or is the case because you're just being really creepy right now?
Stim. Thanks, BD. Stim here. Must be getting closer. Marin's watching out for us, buddy.
Where's our shuttle? We gotta clear out before excavation reaches that temple. They're dispatching another. I wanna have a front row seat when they try out the big gun.
So I kind of wonder something. Do you think that any sequel that's going to come from this is ever going to mention any of the other Star Wars games that came out previously before this? Like, there was a Star Wars game that was an action-adventure game which talked about, well, which followed Darth Vader's Padawan, who is named Starkiller, and he calls himself Starkiller, or gained that moniker Starkiller. But there's that one, and there's also Knights of the Old Republic, which has 2 games to it. And so it's kind of like, do you think that this game would eventually, like, reference them? Not even like, oh, it's a character or something like that that crops up, but just a journal entry.
Look out! Charge forward! He moved! Keep up! I'll get you!
What's this one say? Seek not the path. Return to stillness, traveler. And the way reveals itself. Easy to say when you're already resting in peace. droid with its master. Must have been here for centuries.
Come now, you can make it.
I'm Cal. This is BD-1.
I'm Peely. Didn't expect to see any pilgrims today.
What are you doing out here?
Tending to what I can. But very little grows here, as you can see.
You should check out the Kobo system. Everything grows there.
Sounds lovely. Perhaps I will.
Just tell the bartender at Pyloon Saloon I sent you. He'll get you set up. This leads up to the bridge.
Cool. So now I have somebody that can help out with the gardening, basically. I wonder if I would eventually be able to buy seeds from her, kind of like if I wanted to plant different species and I have not been able to find those plants in and around the environment. Would I be able to buy those seeds from her and plant them in the garden?
What are you doing here? I got you. Don't let him trick you. He's looking pretty hurt. Come on, pay him here.
Something about that rock formation looks familiar. There we go.
Quit that yammer, boy. You gotta fear the fish. Did you need half my words?
I heard you. Not sure I understand, though.
'Tis the noise, lad. A fisher must be master of all the senses, eh? We're in the lair of the fan-tailed larfish, the greatest smeller of things foul beyond the deep core.
Are you saying we smell foul?
You're no lethal peach. Ah, nae to worry. Being clever, I ken to apply the pungent musk of the glotsome crab to me suit. Oh, The old fishy won't know what hit her. One of my fiercer quarries, but the law was no match for Scuba Step and his potent aromas. And come to think, you contributed a few spells of your own to the melee. I owe you a debt of gratitude.
Don't mention it.
Catch you later, laddie. And, if you did rinse yourself off in the waters, I'd need mind.
Scuba's just basically calling us stinky. He's just like, hey, thanks so much for helping me out. But, yeah, I'm gonna need you to go and, like, take a shower or something.
Another trinket for another traveler lost and found on the way to the crossing. For this, we honor their efforts and memorialize their voice forevermore.
Each bell represents someone who passed away on their pilgrimage. Heads up, BD.
What was that? Hostile approaching. Sure. Okay.
Check it out. The bridge to Pilgrim Sanctuary. Let's take this to Sister task. I could use a break.
I did what I could, but there is an Imperial unit up ahead. Thought I should warn you.
Sounds good. Lead the way.
Honestly, I like having Mirren as a companion. I think that her powers are pretty cool, and that the combinations that you can do with like taking care of enemies is also pretty cool and unique. Bode is also fun as well. I like having him as like a partner, as for helping out and things like that. But I feel like out of all of the companions that we get for this game between Bode and Mirren, I think Mirren has more of like the home advantage, basically.
Still impressive.
You have not seen the true extent of my powers, Cal Kestis. Can you make that?
Not without some help.
Then it is good this path was designed to guide the winds. Over here, Cal!
Hear that?
The ruins are sealed.
It's coming from that chamber.
Then you must find a way in.
So,
Now or never.
because we're getting closer to the end of the video, I'm going to go ahead and say my goodbyes now. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm really enjoying the game. I hope that you are too. And yeah, we're going to continue where we left off, just exploring this area in the next video. And you guys have a good rest of your day. Bye.
All this way. Just to die?
No treasure's worth dying for.